Have you ever seen a team rise from total disgrace to touch the very peak of world football? Italy's story in 2006 wasn't just about football. It was about pride, pain, and redemption. The country drowning in scandal, a team surrounded by chaos. Yet somehow, they turned the noise into strength. On the biggest stage of all, when the world had already counted them out, they answered with glory. This is how Italy went from being broken to becoming world champions. Once upon a time, Serie A ruled Europe. Stars, style, swagger. But by the mid-2000s, the spotlight had shifted Spain's La Liga and England's Premier League. And the national team, the Azzurri, they were struggling. A brutal golden goal loss in Euro 2000, a shocking World Cup exit to South Korea in 2002, and a total flop at Euro 2004. They'd fallen to 13th in the FIFA rankings. Yeah, not exactly the glory days. And just when you thought things couldn't get worse, Calciopoli hit. The biggest scandal in Italian football history. Match fixing, corruption, chaos, the works. Four of Italy's biggest clubs, Juventus, Fiorentina, Lazio and AC Milan, were suddenly accused of rigging games.
A crisis which has rocked Italian football.
Juventus got hammered the hardest, stripped of 2 league titles, fined heavily and even relegated. Now imagine being a Juventus player in the middle of that nightmare. And them having to go represent Italy on the world stage. That's exactly what happened to 5 of them. Fabio Cannavaro, Gianluigi Buffon, Alessandro Del Piero, Gianluca Zambrotta, and Mauro Camoranesi. But instead of crumbling under pressure, these guys came together like a family. They tuned out the chaos, focused on each other and said, "Let's do this for Italy." And leading them was Marcello Lippi, the silver-haired general, a 5-time Serie A winner and the mastermind behind Juventus's Champions League triumph. Lippi was cool, sharp and all about balance. He built a team that could defend deep, press high or dominate possession. Whatever the challenge, Lippi had a plan and the players believed. Italy looked composed from the start. They swept through the group unbeaten, a tidy 2-0 win over Ghana, another over the Czech Republic, and even that little hiccup, a 1-1 draw with the US, didn't rattle them. They were confident, composed, and ready for the real fight, the knockout rounds. Next stop, Kaiserslautern. Their opponents, Australia. Right from the start, Italy looked like they meant business. They dominated the first half, dictating the rhythm of the game. But then disaster struck. Marco Materazzi saw red in the 50th minute, leaving Italy down to 10 men. You'd think that would send them into panic mode, but nope. Italy didn't flinch. The Aussies came at them hard, wave after wave, but the Italians held their ground. As the clock ticked toward extra time, everyone figured it would come down to stamina. Guus Hiddink, Australia's coach, had even saved 2 substitutions, ready to outlast the Italians. But then everything changed. In the 94th minute, Fabio Grosso, one of Italy's unsung heroes, danced past 2 defenders, cut into the box, and then down he went. Contact or not, it didn't matter. The referee didn't hesitate for a second. Penalty Italy. And stepping up to take it, the captain, Francesco Totti. He slotted it home, sending Italy and millions of fans into euphoria. Italy was through to the quarterfinals, and the Azzurri were back in business. But celebration turned to sorrow. News broke that Gianluca Pesotto, Juventus's new team manager, had attempted to take his own life amid the Calciopoli chaos. It was a heartbreaking reminder of the storm waiting for them in Italy. But the team had to carry on. They had a mission to finish. Next up was Ukraine, the surprise package of the tournament, riding high on the magic of their talisman, Andriy Shevchenko. They were confident, full of belief, hoping to keep their fairy tale alive. But Italy, they weren't in the mood for any Cinderella stories. It didn't take long for the Azzurri to make their mark. Just 6 minutes in, Zambrotta fired a low shot into the bottom corner from 30 yards out. Then in the 59th minute, Luca Toni rose above everyone to nod in a perfect cross from Totti. 10 minutes later, he sealed it again. crushing any hope of a Ukrainian comeback. And then came the big one, the semi-final, Italy versus Germany, the hosts. From the opening whistle, it was pure chaos, in the best way. Italy came out sharp, controlling the ball, playing fearless football, but that German defense refused to crack. Then in the second half, the momentum shifted. Suddenly it was Germany's turn to dominate. Cannavaro was everywhere, making last-ditch tackles, while Buffon, cool as ice, pulled off save after save to keep Italy alive. Then came extra time. 30 minutes of pure, heart-pounding drama. When Lucas Podolski fired a rocket toward goal, Buffon somehow, unbelievably, tipped it over the bar with one hand. It was breathtaking. Marcello Lippi looked at his team and decided to gamble everything, 4 forwards, all in, no fear. And that courage paid off in the 119th minute. Andrea Pirlo, ever the magician, slid a pass through to Fabio Grosso. One touch, one curl, and silence. His shot bent perfectly past Jens Lehmann, kissing the net. But it wasn't over. Germany had seconds left, so they threw everyone forward. Then came the final unforgettable sequence. Cannavaro, the Berlin Wall himself, made one last heroic stop, clearing the danger. The ball found Totti, who sent it to Gilardino. Gilardino played it perfectly to Del Piero, who charged into the box and launched the ball into the top corner. 2-0. Game over. Italy had done it. Against all odds, they had marched into the World Cup final. The stage was set, Berlin's Olympiastadion, one of the most iconic sporting arenas in the world, ready to crown football's next world champion. On one side stood France, battle-worn but burning with belief. On the other, Italy, disciplined, fearless, and nearly impossible to break down. It was the ultimate showdown. France's road to the final had been anything but smooth. They barely scraped through their group. French players wanted to send him out on top, with one last golden moment. But to do that, they had to get past Italy, a defensive fortress that had only conceded one goal all tournament. When the whistle blew in Berlin, the atmosphere was electric and things got chaotic right away. Thierry Henry took a heavy knock from Cannavaro and went down hard, leaving French hearts in their throats. Thankfully, he made it back on, but before Italy could even settle, disaster struck. Just 6 minutes in, Florent Malouda surged into the box, tangled with Zambrotta and went down. The referee didn't hesitate. Penalty to France. Zidane stepped up cool as ever and did the unthinkable, the cheeky Panenka chip that kissed the crossbar and dropped in. France led 1-0, but Italy wasn't the kind to crumble. Just 12 minutes later, they hit back in perfect Italian fashion. Pirlo floated in a masterful corner, and Marco Materazzi rose above everyone to thunder a header past Fabien Barthez. The game turned into a tactical chess match. France controlled possession. Italy defended like their lives depended on it. The midfield became a war zone, tight, tense, and full of grit. When the second half rolled around, France turned up the heat. Henry, Ribéry and Malouda were relentless, weaving into the box and testing that rock-solid defense. But Cannavaro and company refused to budge. They were unshakable. Italy tried to switch things up, bringing on fresh legs like La Quinta and De Rossi, and even thought they'd scored again through Tony until the flag went up for offside. Meanwhile, Buffon came to Italy's rescue with a sensational save from Henry that kept them alive. It was pure drama as both sides traded blows, neither willing to blink. 90 minutes passed, still 1-1. The match went to extra time. Then came the moment nobody saw coming. Around the 110th minute, Zidane and Materazzi exchanged words. Then, out of nowhere, Zidane turned, took a few steps, and head-butted Materazzi square in the chest. The Italian crumpled to the ground. For a moment it felt like time stopped. Only Buffon and a few players had seen it clearly, but soon the referee got word. After a tense delay, out came the red card. Zidane, France's hero, their leader, their legend, was sent off in his final game. The last 10 minutes were a blur. Both teams looked exhausted, emotionally drained, and unwilling to take risks. It was clear what was coming next. After one of the most dramatic, intense, and unforgettable finals in history, the 2006 World Cup was heading to penalty kicks. The shootout began like a heavyweight boxing match, each team trading blows. Pirlo went first for Italy, coolly sliding it home. France responded with Sylvain Wiltord. 1-1. Next up, Materazzi thundered his shot past Barthez. Then came the twist. David Trezeguet, the man who had once won France the Euro 2000 final against Italy, walked up. He fired and smashed the ball off the crossbar. De Rossi scored. Del Piero too. And then came Fabio Grosso. The man who started it all against Australia now had the chance to end it. He stepped up and curled it into the top corner. It was pure perfection. Players sprinted in every direction. Grosso screamed in disbelief. Buffon collapsed in joy, and Lippi was mobbed by his ecstatic squad. The blue shirts flooded the pitch as confetti began to rain down. Italy's 2006 triumph wasn't just a victory, it was a redemption story. A tale of resilience, unity, and unshakable pride. In the most dramatic, nerve-wracking, and utterly Italian way possible, the Azzurri were once again crowned champions of the world. So, were the Italians lucky, or did they simply turn dark magic into a winning formula in 2006? Let us know in the comments below. And if you thought Italy's redemption was unbelievable, you haven't seen anything yet. Click and watch how Real Madrid made the impossible look routine in 2022.